You're currently on track to trade the best 10 years of your freedom for a paycheck you don't actually need, and the worst part is, you'll never realize it happened until it's too late. Most people aren't broke. They are simply stuck in a mathematical trap where they work harder and harder, while their potential retirement date quietly drifts further away every single year. If you feel like you're doing everything right but your bank balance is standing still, it's not because you're failing, it's because you're in the silent phase of a rule that most people quit just months before it finally pays off. Today, we're going to stop the clock. I'm going to show you the 7-5-3-1 rule, a blueprint that doesn't just grow your money, but literally buys back a decade of your life. Have you ever sat at your kitchen table late at night, with a stack of bills on one side and a half-empty cup of coffee on the other, and felt that strange, quiet weight in your chest? It's not necessarily a feeling of being broke, but rather a feeling of being stuck on a treadmill that's moving just a little bit faster than you can run. You're doing everything right. You've got the job, you're trying to save, you've maybe even dipped your toes into an investment account. But when you look at the balance, it feels like nothing is actually moving. It feels like you're planting seeds in a garden every single day, but every time you go outside to check, all you see is dirt. You start to wonder if you're doing it wrong, or if the wealth everyone talks about on the internet is just a club you weren't invited to. I want you to know that if you felt that specific type of anxiety, that quiet frustration of, is this even working? You're actually exactly where you need to be. The problem isn't your effort, and it's likely not even your income. The problem is that we've been taught to look for the wrong signs of progress at the wrong times. And today I want to show you a different way to look at your future, one that focuses on a simple framework I call the 7-5-3-1 rule, which is designed to help you reclaim your time and potentially retire a full decade earlier than you currently think is possible. Most of us have been conditioned to believe that building wealth is about the big play, the lucky stock pick, the perfect timing of the real estate market, or the high-stress, high-salary job that drains your soul but fills your bank account. We treat money like a sprint, and when we don't see a massive change in our lives after a year of being good, we assume the system is broken. We see those charts of compound interest where the line shoots straight up into the air like a rocket, but we forget that the first 80% of that chart is actually just a flat, boring line that crawls along the ground. This misunderstanding creates a massive psychological hurdle because it makes us feel like we're failing during the most important part of the journey. I want to normalize that struggle for you right now. If your investments feel boring, or if they feel like they're not doing anything yet, that's not a sign of failure. That's actually a sign that the math is working exactly as it should. We're going to step away from the hype and the get-rich-quick noise and instead look at the silent behaviors that actually build a life of freedom, because true wealth isn't about having $1 million to spend. It's about having the luxury of not having to think about money every waking hour. To understand how this works in the real world, let's look at two people, Sarah and Mark. They both earn a very average salary. They live in the same neighborhood, and they both decide to start investing $400 a month. Sarah decides to follow the 7-5-3-1 rule, while Mark decides he's going to optimize his way to wealth by watching the news and trying to jump on the next big thing. The first part of the rule is the 7, which represents the 7% average annual return. This isn't a guaranteed number every year, but it's the historical heartbeat of the market after adjusting for the things that eat your money like inflation. Sarah understands that the 7 is her engine. She doesn't need to find a 50% return or a moonshot crypto coin. She just needs the engine to stay running. Mark, however, thinks 7% is too slow. He sees a headline about a tech stock and moves his money there. Then he gets scared when it drops 10% and moves it back to cash. While Mark is busy trying to outrun the average, Sarah is just letting the 7 do its quiet, invisible work. She's not checking the apps every day because she knows that wealth isn't made in the checking, it's made in the waiting. This leads us to the most difficult part of the blueprint, the 5. This stands for the 5-year silent phase. If you start investing today, I can almost guarantee you that for the first 5 years it will feel like absolutely nothing is happening. This is the valley of disappointment where most people quit. Sarah and Mark are 3 years into their journey now. Sarah has been consistent and her account has grown. But when she looks at the total, it's not life-changing. It's basically just the money she put in, plus a little bit of interest that wouldn't even buy her a used car. Mark looks at his account, sees similar results, and concludes that investing is a scam or it takes too much money to make money. He decides to stop his monthly contributions so he can lease a newer car instead, thinking he'll start again when he has a real amount of money to invest. But Sarah stays through the 5. She understands that compound interest is backloaded. It's like a massive flywheel. At first you're pushing with all your might and it's barely moving, but you're storing energy. The 5 is about behavioral endurance, not financial genius. It's about being okay with being bored while your future self is being funded. Then we hit the 3, which represents the 3 major life storms or market corrections that will try to knock you off course. Statistically, over a 10 to 15-year period, you're going to face at least 3 moments where your brain tells you to panic. It might be a global recession, where you see your account balance drop by 30% in a month. It might be a personal emergency where you're tempted to raid your retirement fund to pay for something. Or it might be a comparison storm where you see a friend making a killing on a speculative investment and you feel like a fool for being slow and steady. Sarah hits her first storm 4 years in. The market dips and her $25,000 account turns into $18,000. It hurts to look at. But because she's following the blueprint, she expects the 3. She knows this is just one of the 3 inevitable hurdles. Mark, on the other hand, sees the dip and sells everything to protect what's left, locking in his losses and missing the recovery that follows. Sarah doesn't just survive these storms, she uses them. She realizes that when things are on sale, her $400 a month is actually buying more than it was before. By the time the storm passes, she has more shares, more momentum, and a much stronger psychological callus that makes her less afraid of the next one. The final piece of the puzzle is the 1, which is the single most important variable, the 1 focus. This focus is not on the Dow Jones or the Fed interest rates or what some billionaire said on Twitter. The 1 focus is your personal savings rate, the gap between what you earn and what you spend. It's the only thing in this entire equation that you actually have 100% control over. Sarah realizes that if she can just find a way to increase her contribution by even a small amount, maybe by realizing she doesn't actually enjoy that 100 DZAC a month subscription she never uses, she can shave years off her working life. She focuses on her 1 thing and lets the 7, the 5, and the 3 take care of themselves. Before I go any further, if this perspective is helping you feel a bit more grounded about your own journey, please consider hitting the subscribe button and leaving a comment below. It sounds small, but it truly helps this message reach people who are currently feeling that late-night anxiety we talked about, and it lets them know they aren't alone in the struggle. Now there is a turning point in this story that most people never get to see because they quit during the 5 or the 3. For Sarah, that turning point happens around year 12. Suddenly the math shifts. The interest her money is earning every year starts to become larger than the $400 she's putting in every month. This is the moment of realization, where money stops being something you work for and starts being something that works for you. It's a profound shift in psychology. When you realize that your money soldiers are out there earning more than your actual physical labor, your relationship with stress changes. You stop being afraid of your boss because you know you have a freedom fund growing in the background. You stop being anxious about a car repair because it's no longer an existential threat to your survival. This is where the 10 years earlier part of the blueprint comes in. By staying consistent through the boring years, Sarah has built an engine that is now compounding so fast that she can reach her enough number an entire decade before Mark, who is still trying to time the perfect moment to start again. This isn't just about numbers on a screen, it's about the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a plan that doesn't require you to be a genius. It's about realizing that the system isn't necessarily rigged against you. It's just designed to reward the people who can handle being bored for 5 years. When you connect your money to your freedom rather than just your consumption, your decisions start to change naturally. You don't feel deprived because you're not buying a new gadget. You feel empowered because you're buying your time back. You start to see every dollar, not as a piece of paper, but as a tiny employee whose only job is to make sure you never have to worry about a late-night bill ever again. This mindset shift is the real wealth. It's the ability to wake up and decide what you want to do with your day, rather than having your day decided for you by your debt or your bank balance. So, how do you actually apply this starting tomorrow? It doesn't require a radical life overhaul or a hustle culture 80-hour work week. It starts with the 1, the single focus. Look at your last 30 days of spending. Don't judge yourself. Don't feel guilty. Just look at it. Find one thing that didn't actually bring you joy. Maybe it's a recurring charge for a gym you don't visit, or a habit of ordering takeout when you actually enjoy cooking, and redirect that amount into a simple low-cost index fund. Then commit to the 5. Tell yourself right now, I'm not going to judge my progress for the next 60 months. Give yourself permission to be in the silent phase, when the 3 happens when the news tells you the sky is falling or you have a bad month at work. Remind yourself that this is just one of the 3 storms you've already prepared for. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Wealth is built in the quiet moments when you choose consistency over excitement. It's built when you decide that your future self deserves to be taken care of just as much as your current self. You don't need to pick the next Amazon. You just need to be the person who didn't quit when the graph looked flat. If you can do that, if you can follow the 7531 blueprint, you'll find that the rocket ship part of the curve eventually arrives. And when it does, you won't just have a bigger bank account. You'll have a much bigger life filled with the one thing money is actually meant to buy, the freedom to be exactly who you are on your own terms. Take a deep breath. You're doing better than you think. Just keep pushing the flywheel.